All right, if you'll indulge me to go on a brief story time, I promise I do have a point with this. But I wanted to talk about the stray cats in my neighborhood. So I moved in here January of 2025, right? And I had one indoor cat, little Bebo, my little angel. And couple months later, I started seeing these stray cats, and it's really cold and stuff. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just put the food out. There's only a couple of them, right? Well, fast forward, I now feed a small stray colony of about 10 to 12 cats because it turns out that our neighborhood has a really bad stray cat problem. Um, there's people who have had cats and just like moved out and left them. People have dumped their cats here, dumped them in the park next to the neighborhood. Um, and so, because of these few assholes, there's a whole bunch of stray cats in the neighborhood. And the majority of people in the neighborhood um, kind of range from disliking the cats and wanting them gone to just kind of seeing it as not their problem. Even though none of this is the cat's fault. And then there are like maybe a handful of us here who actually like try to take care of the cats. And, it started out with a couple of us feeding a couple strays, and then more came around. What am I trying to say here? Here recently, my neighbor's gotten a couple of the cats fixed. So we're kind of trying to work on getting the stray cat population under control, getting them fixed, getting them fed and take care of. I'm going to build a shelter for them, that kind of thing. But my point with this is it's kind of a microcosm of America. A few assholes created a huge problem. Most people don't think it's their fault or their problem, or they blame the cats that are the victims of the assholes. And so the problem grows and gets more and more out of hand until a few people are willing to step in and do something and try to solve the problem. Now, I'm not trying to say this for any kind of like bragging rights or anything. Like, what I feel like what I and a few other neighbors are doing is the bare minimum for human decency. Like, you see a hungry animal, you have the ability to feed that animal or person. So you do. Like, that's the way I got my first cat. She was a stray. And I saw her out in the woods, and I had like a snack, so I gave her some. And then I went back the next day and gave her some more because I thought, how could I sit there and eat thinking about this cat that's out there starving? And now she's my Velcro cat. Like, I can't get her off of me. But I digress. I guess my point is that all it really takes is a few people coming together to solve the problem. All the people who think that it's not their problem or that the problem seems overwhelming, because there are a lot of stray cats in this neighborhood. I certainly couldn't take care of them all by myself. But a few people coming together and you can make a difference. And that's what we all need to remember. You don't need the whole neighborhood. You just need a few people who really care.